moments at the beginning when Cease brings everybody into the room, it's your opportunity to say hello. This is a group of friends. Um, it's important that we get curious about who we're sharing the screen with, because we want you to know each other. We want you to see each other. We want you to uh, continue to expand the nature of what it means to come together with friends in the way that we see one another. So take advantage of that when we gather in these live and learns on Wednesdays. We see your faces.
We see some of your faces and
Yeah.
some of your names, and as many of you want to share your names and faces and full names if you want, we'd love that. And whatever else, if you want to come in a mask and a paper bag, then we'll do that too.
And as Cease mentioned, we're going to speak into the idea of the nature of energy, light, and information today. Some of you that are new to reconnective healing, uh, raise your hand if energy, light, and information is a new idea. Do you understand, or are you clear on energy, light, and information as it relates to reconnective healing? If you're not, just raise your hand.
Visually or the hand raise mechanism?
I think since Cease has already showed everyone the hand raise, you go ahead and try that. That gives us an opportunity. Claudia, I see you. Beautiful. Yeah. Miriam, you're not familiar with energy, light, and information? Okay. Only raise your hand if you are not familiar.
Did I raise my hand? Sorry.
No, oh, no problem. Because I know you're. So, energy, light, and information, just for the few of you that this is a new concept for, is the reconnective healing frequencies. The way in which they have been explained um, by science, moreover than the nature of energy, light, and information. We've spent many, many years really sort of naming and trademarking energy, light, and information from the perspective and point of view of science, because it was important for science to try to explain, as Eric was explaining, that we've always had energy. Energy is let's say, the nature of everything. And when the frequencies made themselves known to us in a way, they reached through, let's say, space and time in a way. Again, we're speaking somewhat metaphorically. And the understanding was is that energy became more. It became energy with the unity or the oneness of light and information. And I think part of what Eric and I have been and want to share today is energy, light, and information as a singular essence, entity.
And you're going to discover how it is and how it appears to not be, just as we are all one, and yet we appear to be individual human beings with different faces and bodies and personalities and everything else along with it. So to give you just a little touch of understanding of energy, light, and information. For those of you familiar with the presence of Solomon, when Solomon first came about, what was happening was that the voice that was coming through over 50 some people were saying, what you are doing is bringing light and information onto the planet. And with this came the increase of energy. And as the researchers started studying what the reconnective healing frequencies were bringing through, it was new aspects of light and information that had not been present here before, had existed timelessly outside of time, outside of height, width, depth, and time, but hadn't been in here in our four-dimensional bubble. So it's new to us and it's timeless. Notice it's not old. It's not that it's new to us and old outside of time, because outside of time, well, there's no time. So it is timeless, and it's an expression here and an understanding of this expanded frequency of energy, light, and information. And of course, since it's been being brought onto the planet now, since then, through these frequencies, many people are starting to recognize us, and you hear people speak in this terminology that Solomon first identified for us, which is kind of cool. And we're going to explore the nature of energy, light, and information today with you. There are many ways that we can begin to explore it. And so, shall we begin?
Yes, so
Okay,
most definitely.
good. So, the nature of energy, light, and information. Okay. The nature of energy, light, and information is the nature of life. It's expanded beyond what we've known. It's limitless. It's overlapping, like the colors of the rainbow, recognizable individually, and yet with no distinguishable lines of delineation or demarcation. It's inseparable and interdependent in its existence.
Let's think about separable and interdependent, inseparable, and in
Inseparable and interdependent. Yes, I worked on that for a while. I sat in the mirror going, inseparable,
inseparable and independent.
interdependent. You move your mouth, I'll say it. Go ahead.
Inseparable.
No, you're supposed to move your mouth. I'm the one talking. Inseparable. Okay.
Okay, are we following everyone?
Inseparably.
And the interesting part is the idea of something that is inseparable and interdependent is not necessarily how we view the world. It isn't really even, again, how we're organized.
So the visible and not so visible colors, they're all colors just the same. Light, just the same, without boundaries or borders, separations or distinction, appearing with identifiable characteristics, just like that's a man, that's a woman, that's a boy, that's a child, and yet all one. Light is not really distinguishable from color. Color is indistinguishable from energy. Energy is indistinguishable from information. You indistinguishable from me. There are colors that can be felt and tasted, actually all of them, if we allow ourselves. Smelled and heard, sounds that can be felt, fragrances as music. Music, you can see. The nature of energy, light, and information is fluidity. One aspect flowing into another, and none existing without the other. All is one, one is all, not to sound like the Three Musketeers.
So all infinite potential, non-linguistic, continuously rising up, and then like waves disappearing into the ocean. And as such, always existing. Energy, light, and information is and is in the same unity, or we'll say unified collection of essence, being, God, love, and the intelligence of what we'll name the universe. It always exists to communicate and transform independent of any singular opinion, external permission, direction, approval, intention, or general consensus. It unifies the oneness that we perceive as otherness.
It's existent in and of itself. So what we thought we would do today,
Again,
right, is a brief meditation. Shall we see if there are any questions before we begin the meditation, or shall we dive in?
I'd love us to just go through the experience of the meditation, because I think that's going to be the most vulnerable and exposed place that the questions will come. We're not speaking again from the science of energy, light, and information. There's a lot on that on our website. There's the sort of the breaking down of those components and why um, it was studied in sort of these three separate elements, if you will. So let's explore the unity of this otherness, or this perceived otherness, through the meditation, and we'll come back and we'll do
That sounds
questions.
great.
I'm going to suggest that for this meditation, we take advantage of closing our eyes, if that's comfortable for you. We're going to go to a virtual background and move through it, and then we'll emerge.
We'll reemerge from a virtual background, which virtually looks a lot like us. So allow your eyes to close. Select a number, any number. Look at that number in your mind's eye. What color does that number appear in? Now breathe in a nice deep breath.
As you breathe in, sense fragrance. What is the fragrance like?
The fragrance of that number.
Can you smell the fragrance of the number that you've selected?
Allow your attention to bring to you a song. Hear the playing of that song. Hear it play in your head. Picture, if you will, that song. Picture, if you will, the music.
What does the music look like? Can you see patterns, shapes?
Explore those patterns and shapes of the music.
What color does that song appear in?
Is there a fragrance to it? And can you see? Can you see it on one plane? Can your eyes dive into it? Can you experience it more than one dimensionally? Is it two dimensional? Is it three or four dimensional?
Now think of energy. Experience energy however it comes to you, however you receive it.
Observe, how does the energy present itself to you? What senses does it respond to you in? Does it trigger? Does it employ? Are they single? Is it a single individual sense? Or do you now begin to recognize more complex, multiple sensory interminglings?
Allow those senses to swirl around your space.
And for you to be swirling within those senses.
You are them. Observe whether
They are solely familiar senses, or are there some new senses, senses for which you have no words? Now bring your awareness to the concept of light.
experience light. How does light appear to you? What senses are you experiencing true light.
Are you experiencing light through the five senses we've been taught that we are supposed to function within? Or are you discovering more senses and more to each sense? Is it through the familiar senses? Or are there surprise senses? What are the qualities? Are the senses yet overlapping? What are the qualities of the senses? And what are the qualities of this light?
Become aware of the existence of information. In what way does information appear in your awareness? In what ways does information show itself? Allow the energy, light, and information to unite in a cacophony of senses in your cognizant awareness.
How does energy demonstrate itself in life? How does energy and information demonstrate itself for you in the universe? And if you were to visualize that which you may not yet have seen or visualized, how might information demonstrate itself on planes that we are not cognizantly, as of yet, familiar with? These answers may be visual, they may be sensory, they may be conception on any plane.
Now take this activity and allow it to dissolve into the background of your attention. Allow the study of energy, light, and information to be absorbed into the atmosphere that you are presently in. Allow the presence of this unified awareness to open itself into all experience. Bathe in the feeling.
Hey there, family. Dr. Eric and Jillian here.
Welcome, everyone.
And we're very excited about Reconnective Life, our first online global community. This is the most exciting way we've been able to get together since I founded the Reconnection. It'll be a place where we can do things together. We'll move into breakout rooms at times when that's appropriate. We'll have energy interactions and meditations and exercises. In other words, expect things you haven't seen before.
You are so charged.
Things we
He is so lit about every new way we get to be together every day. Just be together. Let us just speak a little bit about what is going to be the shape of this community.
In this community, we can share and discover more. Here we can talk to each other, we can chat, we can learn from and about one another. Jillian, me, our life leaders, and you will be in daily conversation with you. Weekly, we will have Facebook Lives.
We will be with you every Wednesday. Sometimes it'll be just Eric. On occasion, it might just be me. Sometimes it'll be the two of us. It's all about giving you a way to look at the week living in the frequencies.
And in every fourth week, we will include a live Q&A so we can talk about the things that have been coming up for us, discuss back and forth, share, grow, expand together.
And the ever-growing library of content that has been created over 20 years that will be on demand for you. It will be on-demand content for you to view, enjoy, share again with your inner circle.
And monthly, we are going to have live Zoom retreats. We're going to bring in some exercises and experiences and things that previously we've reserved for our physical retreats, you know, when we were in the different location resorts and things. And we're modifying them so that we can work with these with you in your home, in your living room, in your den.
Put into the chat line, what is facility?
We're having these weekly Zoom in-depth Q&As.
Finally, they have a place and space to just define what does that really mean living in the frequencies.
This is something that is in all of us.
Everyone can do this.
It doesn't matter how many levels you've gone through or how well you know the programs. It's a community that allows us to recognize how interrelated we all are as receivers of energy, light, and information.
See you there.
Reconnective Life, living in the frequencies every day.
Of conflict to reveal the